Hey guys, so I'm doing I guess I'm calling this my Baddie Bridal tutorial. This is also going to be fully drugstore. I'm using essentially all the same products that I used in that other one. So I'm starting off by sketching out my brows with the NYX pencil. Once again, everything will be linked down below, you guys always know. But I like to do this when I want like a little bit more of a structured look. So I'm kind of going in, laying it in for a basic like shape and then just brushing it through, and then we'll come back to that at the end. So I'm cleaning it up with concealer just to make it a little bit more like legit, you know? I don't know if that makes sense, whatever. So I'm using the color CoverGirl eye primer, which has a little bit of pigment in it, but it's like relatively sheer. It has like a really nice grip to it as well, which I really like. So it's good for like long wear. And then I'm using that same LA Girl palette. This is the Nudist palette. I will link all of the like Wet n Wild brushes that I use, but I'm basically, okay. I was like thinking I kind of wanted to do like old school Alex, like back when I used to like work with Pat McGrath and those like smoky eyes, you know? So I'm really going in, I'm using all neutrals, but they're like a little bit warm to complement my skin tone. So I'm kind of like doing the classic placement. So I'm going in with this Milani pencil eyeliner, which I used in the other tutorial. And I'm kind of doing the same thing. Like I'm tight lining, and then I'm gonna build up the definition on the outer corner of my eyes, kind of just to like create the illusion of a thick lash line of lashes. So I'm going in and like kind of blending that, doing a little bit of tapping. And then I'm picking up this dark brown from the palette, and I'm kind of setting it and kind of thickening it up. But yeah, basically just like setting that liner, you know, we want dimension here. I think that's like what bridal makeup is all about, just dimension. So I'm gonna pick up this nice caramely brown, like mid-tone brown, whatever, and I'm gonna go over that liner a little bit. So I'm kind of like going over top of that dark brown, once again, just to create more dimension, create a little bit of blending. I'm kind of extending that like wing shape a little bit, and then going back in and just kind of blending. And I'm doing my eyes first, obviously, so that I can clean up. So it's a lot easier. Don't have to worry about fallout, you know? It's a lot of back and forth. So I'm going back in with, I think that dark brown, and just kind of extending. And then I'm gonna pick up that shimmer shade, which is so beautiful. I love like a taupey shimmer, like something that's not way too light, but is still, like it's essentially my skin tone, but shimmery, you know? So I'm gonna go in and cover my whole waterline with that same, wait, was it Milani? Yeah, Milani eyeliner. And then I'm thickening it up on the outer corner. Then I'm going in with that dark brown shadow and I'm setting it just like I did on the top. And then just like kind of lightly buffing. I'm picking up the lightest shade from the Nudist palette, the lightest like transition shade, which for some reason I didn't show you, and buffing it underneath my lash line. And then obviously making sure that it connects to the top. Highly recommend doing your eyes first, especially if you're doing something smoky like this, you know? So I'm gonna color correct with my LA Girl Pro Conceal, which is great for drugstore. Nice peachy color. I use light ivory. And then I'm using that same NYX Born to Glow, but I'm mixing it with this Wet n Wild color corrector, which in all honesty, somebody wanted me to try it, so I figured I would. And honestly, the NYX Born to Glow is like a little bit more on the neutral side, so I wanted to add a little bit more olive. It's a little too shiny, just so you know. Like it's a little wet. It does manipulate a little bit. Obviously concealing with L'Oreal Infallible, super full coverage, you don't need a ton. It's good for brightening. I use the shade Ivory, I think. But yeah, it's essentially like, this is like a slightly more glam version of the, well, it's the more glam version of the wedding makeup that I did before, or the bridal makeup. So yeah, sponges, brushes, detail, you know what I mean? Just going back in and buffing so that I have like a nice blend under the eyes. The concealer went up a little bit high in some areas. And then obviously, you know, now that I have my face makeup down, I want to do some more blending. So I'm using my NYX Contour Stick in Fair. I love this. It's a great shade. It's Truthfully, maybe a little bit warm, but it creates such a beautiful dimension to the face. And I'm blending that out with my e.l.f. Putty bronzer brush and going back in with my sponge to make sure that everything is blended around the edges. So it's once again, some back and forth, just to create nice dimension, a good blend, take your time with it. That jawline contour is so important to me. And remember that like for bridal, you can do it up a little bit more, you know, because it's gonna show up better in photographs. I'm dying. Obviously contouring my lips. I have like full-on tutorials for like these kinds of things, like contouring my lips and my nose if you want to see those. I think you can just like search. I think is there like a search bar, right? You do go on my channel, you can search. Whatever. What's up, guys? Just watching me contour. I'm gonna use that same, wait, what is that called? Beauty Bakery powder, which I like something that has a little bit more pigment in it. It's very finely milled, and if you're looking for something that isn't going to like put too much pigment down, then that's good. And then I'm using the e.l.f. Putty Blush. Never remember the name of it. It's the more pink one. And then I'm setting it with that same Revlon brush. So combination of creams and powders, Wet n Wild bronzer, just like I did in the last one. I think I'm using the same brush too, to make sure that I'm setting all of the like definition to the face and just like creating more dimension with that warmth. And then I kind of wanted to add a little bit of that bronzer in with the eyeshadow as well. So final step, just using that to kind of like blend the rest of my eyeshadow into the rest of my face. Now I'm picking up the shimmer, the lightest shimmer shade, and I'm putting that in my inner corner, and then I'm gonna slowly kind of like buff that onto the lid, so into that taupey shade, just so that they like blend nicely, you know? And then I'm highlighting with my Revlon Skin Lights, I almost said bronzer, and then concealer. Highlighter, I don't remember what shade it is, but obviously gotta hit the inner corners, the brow bone, and then of course I'm gonna be, you know, putting this all over my cheeks. And then I kind of like dusted it a little bit like on my nose and my Cupid's bow and chin and stuff. Finishing off the brows, so going in with a little bit of soap to set them. So just brushing them into place. I did trim and shape my brows like last week or so. So they might look a little bit more like whatever. So I wanted to wear lashes. So I always apply a little bit of mascara, like curl and apply a little bit of mascara, but I ended up ripping these. These are Ardell Foam Ink Demi Wispies, which are the best. So I went for these Ardell Naked lashes, which honestly, too long for this look. They kind of hid the lid shade, but they are really pretty. So I don't know, it depends. And then I am using waterproof on my lower lash line that was CoverGirl. Finishing off my brows with the NYX Lift and Snatch brow tint. I think I used taupe. I think all of those were taupe, all those brow things. And then I'm gonna start with Gone Greige by Maybelline to line and contour my lips. This is kind of like the reverse of what I did last time. And then once I have the shape and the contour, I'm gonna go in with Nude Suede Shoes by NYX, and I'm gonna fill in and then just kind of like blend into that contoured shade. So literally like the opposite, just like something a little more structured. And then this is up to you. I went in with the NYX Milky Gloss because I think it just creates like such a beautiful dimension. But obviously like for bridal, I mean, like if you're kissing, then you probably want to stick with like just a matte lipstick or a lip liner. I love a long wearing lip liner. But yeah, I do like this look a lot. I think it's very like sultry, dramatic. It's a little more like evening, maybe like winter, fall wedding kind of deal. Yeah, guys, that's it. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed, and I'll see you soon.